Welcome back, crypto family. This is XRP before 10K, 10 Life Edition, episode 16. Today is 6/18/2025, and the current price of XRP is $2.16. It's kind of been going up and down. There's been like some good news in the crypto space and some like kind of annoying news, because you know how XRP is. Like, they'll tell you a date is the final date, and then when it gets to that date, they're like, oh no, now it's this date. So basically what happened in crypto today is there was the Franklin Templeton ETF, right? And that got postponed, right? But they didn't give us a reason why, and they didn't give us a roadmap of when it's supposed to be launching. And then secondly, we were supposed to get like the SEC and Ripple decision, but that got postponed to August. I think it's like August 16th. So who knows? I mean, I think it would probably go through after then, because like the main dates everyone's really waiting for is like July. I think it's like July 16th. So we'll see about that. But the good news for today is the Genius Act got accepted by by the Senate. So we're just waiting for it to get passed by the House or whatever. But yeah, so that passed. Everybody was like freaking out, because basically what that does is the stable coins that are backed by the dollar, it gives them regulation. So it's like a very pivotal moment in crypto history. But guys, yesterday we started this book called The Mastery of Self. We finished chapter 1, which was the making of a master. And today we're going to be on chapter 2, understanding our domestication and attachments. But before we get into that, y'all, I just want to say I feel so blessed to be here in front of y'all, talking to y'all, teaching you guys about the mastery of self, because it's been a journey for me too. And the key turning point in my life before I got my spiritual gifts from God and things like that was actually learning how to master self-love. That was like the main thing. And then once I mastered that self-love, that's when I got out of the bad relationships that I was in and started accepting my abundance. So like, the first thing, if you're trying to make any real great change in your life, you have to learn self-love. Like, it's more important than it actually seems. And I'm here to show y'all that. But what did I want to say? I wanted to say that talk about my life and what's going on, because yes, this is XRP before 10K. We like to learn about self-love and talk about God and manifestation and stuff like that. But at the same time, we are all human beings. So I kind of want you guys to understand like the shit that I'm going through right now, because a lot of people, like, I'm so fucking positive, y'all. Like, I'm so positive. A lot of people don't realize I'm living in a tent. When I walk outside, it's like a little fucking jungle right there. You feel me? It's like a fucking jungle. So that's what I'm going through right now. But today, so basically, if y'all looked at my other episodes, basically someone tried to murder me. And like my ex, she tried to murder me in the past, and then recently she tried to send someone to murder me. And I found out basically because she was trying to manipulate me and told me I could look through her phone, and I found out she sent someone to kill me. But anyways, with all that being said, I got court in like 7 days for the restraining order. But today I actually filed charges against her, because she's only lives a city away. And with this, like, her lying on the internet, she damn near sent people to kill me because they thought I did something I didn't do. And it's just fucked up. Like, my life was really in danger. So it's like shit, I'm going through shit like that. Like, I had someone come out here and she told them to burn me alive. So never think that your life is too rough, because you never know what someone else could be going through. And you know what blows my mind, y'all? When I'm like telling people about XRP and crypto, and they're like, oh, I'm too broke. Like, dude, that's the whole point. We're all too broke. But we realize the opportunity, and we understand the information that is put in front of us. But yeah, so I pressed charges against her today, y'all. I did. I got a stack this big. For one, she tried to murder me in the past, and then she tried to murder me fucking recently. So, yeah, I'm not. The first time, yeah, she was gonna get 15 years. I declined it because like I was still in a victim mindset or whatever. But this time, I don't care what they say. You don't mess with someone that's chosen like me. Like, I am the most positive, loving, caring, thoughtful person ever, dude. Like, I don't care who you are. I'll give you the time of day to tell me your story. Because I wanna hear what's going on in the world outside of myself. I am you, you are me. We are all the same person. And once y'all realize that, y'all start loving people more. But yeah, so if they throw 20 years on her, I'm accepting it, dude. Like, she tried to fucking ruin my life. Like, you don't play with God, because when he comes back, he's coming back hard. You feel me? But yeah, guys, man, it's crazy, dude. Like, XRP is at $2.16, and like, probably fucking 10 years from now, what, in 2035, there's gonna be someone watching this video, like, just like thinking in their head, like, damn, what the fuck was I doing in 2025 when there's people living in fucking tents just to save crypto, to save their family for generations and generations with this beast system that's coming into play. A lot of people don't realize, like, I'm sent here to guide all of you to Christ and protect your finances and damn near your mental health for what's coming with this beast system. Ripple, all this crypto shit is all gonna tie in together, and it's gonna be the beast system, y'all. So I'm trying to make sure I put y'all on to what is going on in my life, so that when I'm being blessed and things like that, y'all can't come up to me asking me for anything. I've already done my part. I can pray for y'all, but financially, there's not gonna be anything I can do for y'all. I'm not gonna be giving people money. I'm not. The best thing I could do is bring you guys to God and heal you, because I'm hoping that in like at least 5 years I'll be able to heal somebody with my hands through Christ. You know, that's my real goal. Like, this money stuff is cool and all, but all I really care about is doing miracles for God and real love. That's all I care about, y'all. I got people sending me their numbers to chop it up with me. You know, I take the time to go in my DMs and, you know, type to people, talk to them for like 15 minutes, 20 minutes. I join people's Discords. Like, I join people's Discords and they're like, dude, is this really you? Like, you're really an unfriend? And I'm like, yeah, bro. And the thing is, y'all, I'm really not where I'm gonna be at, but I already got people seeing the aura. And it's not no, like, it is a flex, but it's not like I'm flexing on y'all. It's just like, I've done the shadow work. I've learned my karmic lesson. I went through a 9-year karmic cycle just so that after I got done through with it, I would be spiritually advanced like the way I am right now. You feel me? The whole reason I'm here in front of you guys is to raise the consciousness of the world and lead you to Christ, so that we can basically shift into a different frequency and get out of this hellhole that we're in. It's all about frequency. 369 Nikola Tesla. If you know, you know. If you don't, well, you should know. You need to know. The things you guys say out of your mouth every day, the things you think, the way you guys limit yourselves, all that has to do with 369 frequency. If I talk bad about myself all day, I'm gonna feel bad. If I talk good all the time about myself, I'm probably gonna feel good. If I believe I can do stuff, it's probably gonna get done. If I believe I can't do something, then it probably won't get done. But that's all about frequency, manifestation, and things like that. Once you guys realize that you can blend this world into anything that you want, you could do anything. And I'm gonna show y'all that. Like, humbly, y'all, I'm gonna be a multi-millionaire billionaire. I think I'm gonna be a billionaire, but I know at least I'm gonna be a multi-millionaire, and I'm living in a tent right now. It's 6/18/2025. Y'all want to know how much money I got in my bank account? Like honestly, I think I got 16 cents, and I don't get paid for like another, what, fucking 9 days. Of course I got money in XRP. I'm not gonna tell you how much, but I got money in XRP, you know. But I got that in a cold wallet. I got it set up to where I can't even touch it if I want to. I would have to go way the fuck out of my way to touch with my crypto. But I set it up that way because I know myself. I know myself. You feel me? I know myself too well. And some of you guys are gonna have to just do what you gotta do, because a lot of you guys have issues with taking out of your crypto to buy shit. You're never gonna get anywhere, y'all. But yes, that's why I'm here, man. I'm here. I can't wait to actually get paid to just speak to people. And this is all filmed, all documented. The prophecies that I'm talking about, every single thing I told y'all in my past episodes, when those come true, it's not if, it's when. When those comes true, when y'all see, you know, my 222 in my video and all my other prophecies and stuff came true, and you see XRP hit 10K, do you know how many comments there are going to be in this chat? And they're going to be like, oh, he just got lucky. No, I didn't get lucky, y'all. I'm a messenger of Jesus Christ, of God. Like, I really am. And I'm so serious. And you guys are going to see, though, I'm going to bring y'all to Christ. Like, I love y'all so much that I'm putting everything on the line to basically show y'all how things truly are. I'm living in a fucking tent, y'all. I don't have to be doing this. But I love y'all, and that's what God told me to do. And I'm not going to disobey him because he does not let me down. Like today, I didn't have any money for food. But if you look at my Twitter, I was like, I haven't ate all day. I don't have any money for food, but I know I'm going to eat because God never lets me down. An hour later, I go to my, I don't work today, but I went to my job, right? And I just went to get a drink. And when I went, it's like, all like the chill workers, you know, the ones that like don't got shit to say, the ones that are just chill and like really fuck with me. Well, a lot of them fuck with me, but you know, like manager wise, the ones that really fuck with me, you know, they gave me some food, y'all. I ate, and that was just an hour after saying I don't have anything, but I trust in God and I know I'm gonna eat. It's just little stuff like that, you know. And also later on, I went and got some pizza because, you know, I sold a little bit of my Bitcoin. I don't really care for Bitcoin too much. I'm gonna just be real. I don't have that in a cold wallet. I just have a little amount, you know. I had like $20 in Bitcoin because all my other money's in other stuff. But anyway, I just sold my Bitcoin, my little $20, because shit, I'll replace that later this week or whenever I get paid in like 9 days. But yeah, I had bought some pizza, right? And I went to go get some sauces for my work because, you know, Domino's, they be taxing. Like, why is a sauce $1.50? Like, these are the real things we need to be worried about. Fuck war, dude. Why is a barbecue sauce $1.50, dude? Like these are the things that really matter, dude. Like, why? This shit should be probably what, 40 cents, but $1.50 is OD. And I sound fat because I'm like, but I'm just being real, y'all. Like, it's shit like that. But anyways, I went to the drive-thru at my job to get some sauces. When I pull up to the speaker, I put on like this white country voice, you know. Yeah, I just came in here, man. I just came in here and I forgot my napkins. And then one of the employees, they're like, okay, we'll just pull up, you know. And when I pull up, y'all, I'm just like, I got you. Let me just get some sauce, please. So I get my sauce and I like peep over to the side. I see my homie's car. I'm like, oh shit, he's there. I pull up. It's just him, his girl in the car. But so I call. I'm like, bro, are you inside still? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, all right, because I had pizza. You know, I'm living in a tent. I'm not about to eat all this pizza. If anything, it's gonna go to waste. So I pulled up to give him and his girlfriend a slice of pizza, and he blessed me with some, you know, some of that Zaza, you know. I don't really do too much, but you know, some Zaza here and there is just like chef's fucking kiss. So you know, I was surprised. You know, I was just giving him some pizza off the love, because you know, who knows, dude? You never know what someone needs or someone wants. I gave him some pizza. I went home to my grandma's house and gave her some pizza, and then you know, I went back to my fucking tent or whatever. But you know, it's just little shit like that. Like, just always being thoughtful about other people creates the opportunity for people to be thoughtful about you. And that's why people fuck with me a lot, because I always think about other people before I think about myself. And that's called being selfless. Not selfish, selfless. Obviously you have respect for yourself and care about yourself and all that, you know, but it's good to be selfless. But yeah, man, so right now I got this YouTube going. We're doing this every night. I appreciate it. Like, I really appreciate it. It's really random, but God told me to do this, so I'm just trusting in him, y'all, and I'm not letting up. I'm gonna just be real. I think a year from right now, and I'm gonna keep doing this, but a year from right now, I probably won't have to work again. As long as I keep this up and then being consistent on TikTok, which TikTok is my biggest platform. Look up Numfriend, Never Regular. Never Regular is my tag, but my name says Numfriend. You got to be careful though. Like, a lot of people are like, yeah, I'm not even trying to act like I got a lot of clout or anything, but you know, a lot of people actually made some accounts acting like me and messaging people and try to scam them and shit. So I'm gonna just put it out there. You'll know if it's me. You'll know. Like, it'll be obvious. Just look at all the accounts and compare whichever one is the most active and looks the most realistic. That's me. But yeah, on TikTok, I'm almost at 4,000 followers, y'all. 4,000 organic followers. I posted like 4 times today, right? Every single post hit 1K. 2 days ago I posted that, and one day one of the posts hit 10K views. I definitely, like, on my whole profile, I have over 120,000 likes, way over 1 million views across. Like, one of my videos from back in the day, I hit my first 1 million views, but that wasn't crypto related. It was something else, right? But yeah, y'all, my year prediction with this whole thing I got going on is probably be at, like, humbly on YouTube, I think I'll be at probably like 4,000 followers from a year from now on YouTube. And then on TikTok, a year from now, I think I will be at least 20,000 followers on TikTok, which is exciting. Like, but this is what God's just told me to do. So, and I'm enjoying it, you know, it's all natural. So I really like it. But man, yeah, we're already 18 minutes into this. And I just get carried away, y'all, because I don't know, I be feeling like y'all are right here. You know, that's how I talk to people though. I talk to people like I've known them. I'm really like vulnerable when I talk to people and genuine. But that's what people kind of like. Cause I don't care, dude. I'll be goofy, bro. I'll be serious as fuck. I like to joke, but I like to give good advice. It's just like a balance of feminine and masculine energy. Like, I mastered both of those. And that's because I was raised by a woman. But like, I don't know. I really don't know how to explain that. But it's just like I mastered both sides, yin and yang, at this point. But yeah, let's get into chapter 2, y'all, because this is a good ass book that we're about to get into. Don Miguel Ruiz Jr., The Mastery of Self. Alright guys, chapter 2, Understanding Our Domestication and Attachments. There is an old Toltec story that has been shared across generations in my family about a shaman who called himself the Smoky Mirror. He gave himself this name once he became aware of the smoke that not only clouded his vision and controlled his will, but also did the same to everyone around him. A recounting of Smoky Mirror's story will be helpful as we begin to go deeper into the mastery of self. It's so hot in here, y'all, but the video is so important to me. Like, this is so important to me. So I'm just gonna pretend that I'm in a freezer right now, because that's all I could do. No, I'm playing. It's too hot, bro. After many years of study and in a moment of great realization, a shaman experiences the truth. I am made of light. Facts. I've been telling my cousin for a while, like, I'm the light bearer because I hold the light, you know? I go into very dark places, but that's because I know the light's right here the whole time. It doesn't matter. I could literally go in the pitch black woods and have no doubt that I'm gonna make it out and no worry, because I know I'm protected. And it's a good feeling to have, and I hope soon all you guys can feel that. Doesn't mean go do reckless things. You just have to really know. It's like an intuition thing. But yeah, I am made of light. I am made of stars. The real us is pure love, pure light, he says. As he looks around his village, he knows that everyone and everything he sees is a manifestation of God. And he intuitively understands that the human journey is a process of divine becoming aware of itself. This is like my journey right now that I'm going on. This is pretty cool, like, pretty cool. If you know, you know. Moved by this realization, the shaman immediately wants to share this information with everyone in his village. Dude, that's fucking me. Literally, as soon as I got saved by Christ and I had this whole, like, 8-day fast and my whole nervous system got reprogrammed and I got all these spiritual gifts and shit, I literally came straight to y'all because it's just like some like supernatural shit, and it's better than any fucking drug you could ever take. I don't really have experience with a lot of shit like that, just like shrooms and weed, but I'm just telling y'all, this is better. This feeling that I have with the spiritual gifts and this energy is better than any like mushroom trip or weed high that I've ever had. It's greater than that. But yeah, he wanted to share this information with the entire village. But when he does so, it becomes clear to him that no one else understands, and that's why I'm documenting it. Cause y'all are gonna have an understanding of this after a year of me doing this, and y'all see all the shit that happened, and I started this shit in a tent with nothing. You guys are gonna understand that I'm being so real with y'all, and I probably saved y'all's life. But yeah, it becomes clear to him that no one else understands. The shaman then realizes that there's a smoky fog between him and others, and this fog doesn't allow people to see beyond the tip of their own nose. The fog controls their every action, every belief. The shaman also notices that he interacts with others. The fog tries to assert. Alright, let's say that again. The shaman also notices that he interacts with others. The fog tries to assert its control over him again. But as soon as he notices the fog creeping back in, the simple act of noticing makes the fog dissipate. As the fog recedes, he becomes aware of a mirror in front of him, and he can vaguely see his reflection. When the fog completely clears, he can see himself fully again. The shaman is aware that he is the truth, and the reflection in the mirror is a reminder. It only reflects the truth. He begins to understand that the reflection as an instrument of awareness. Okay. Every time the fog begins to creep in and keep him from knowing who he really is, he can look to his mirror. If it is cloudy or he can't see himself, he knows he is on the wrong track, trapped in the fog. But as soon as he remembers his authentic self, the smoke immediately begins to clear. To remember himself of who he really is and the power of the fog to obscure his perception. The shaman changes his name to the Smoky Mirror. I get what he's saying. Because basically, he didn't like the fog, that the fog kept trying to come back in and make him forget who he was. So he just named himself Smoky Mirror. And everyone basically started calling him Smoky Mirror, so he never forgot, like, you know, the fog was there. I'm getting it. It's pretty fucking smart. That's why I kind of want to change my name to Cedric Lord Clayor, because the lore means living outside of reality. And I don't know, man. It's kind of like the similar situation. And I have a fashion brand called Lore Cleor. It's like a futuristic, luxury designer brand. And when this abundance comes in, I will be dropping slides that I designed myself. They don't look like regular slides. They're like alien type of monster crazy slides. But they're luxurious, you know. They're like monster octopus type of fucking slides. All designed originally by me. Already got the mock-ups and everything. I just got to put some money down. But y'all are gonna see this. All this shit I'm telling y'all about, I'm gonna manifest. I'm gonna be such a big fashion designer, y'all. Y'all don't even realize that. Like, I do music, fashion, videography. It's just a lot of different shit I do, you know. I know how to sew. But anyways, back to what we were saying. He named himself Smoky Mirror. The power story encapsulates a core teaching in my family's Toltec tradition. The fog represents our attachments and our domestications, which together keep us from experiencing the truth of who we are. And one real example of this is, if you're with someone that is not meant for you, and it's not like God didn't choose this person for you, and it's not divine, no matter what you do with this person, you're never gonna see your life like change in a positive way, and you're not gonna see your manifestations come true. As long as you have a negative person next to you and you know this, and you're just like saying fuck it, but you know God is telling you this person is not for you, you're forever gonna have this fog in front of you. You will. Shit, it happened to me. As soon as I got this person away, boom, instant spiritual awakening, 7-day fast, and all this shit. But that's because in the background, when I was doing all this shit, I was doing the shadow work. But the shadow work couldn't basically cash itself in until I got that person away. So y'all just remember that, because I'm young, but I'm giving y'all I'm giving y'all real wisdom. Fuck, I'm not editing this shit, so you know, it is what it is. But anyways, yeah, it keeps us from experiencing the true person that we are. Damn, is my phone about to fall? But let's get to domestication. Let me begin to explain domestication with a simple story. Imagine a child of 8 or 9 having lunch with his grandmother, who has prepared soup for their afternoon meal. They sit together and converse, enjoying each other's company and the love they share. After finishing half his bowl of soup, the child realizes he is full. "I don't want the rest, grandmother. I am full." And then she says, "You must eat your soup, grandson." Whether you are a parent or not, it is likely clear what this boy's grandmother is trying to do. Her intentions are admirable. She wants him to eat in order to be nourished. When he declines, she tries to convince him to eat more by offering him a reward for doing what she wants. This is the first tool of domestication. "You must finish your soup," she says. "I will make you grow up big and strong like Superman." But the young boy is undeterred. "No, I am not hungry," he insists. "I don't want to eat any more right now." In addition to not being hungry, the child is also enjoying the feeling of asserting himself, because he feels powerful to say no, to express his free will. He can also feel the same sense of power when he says yes to things he wants, and it feels good to say it. This is how young children, including ourselves when we were young, learn about the power of intent by stating yes and no. I actually like how it looks better. All right. Eventually, the boy reaches the threshold of his grandmother's patience, and when the carrot doesn't work, she reaches for the stick to impose her will upon him. Like many grandparents and their parents before them, she crosses the line of respect for his choice and adds punishment. In this case, guilt and shaming, which is the second tool of domestication. Do you know how many children don't have anything to eat around the world? They are starving. And here you are, wasting your food. It's a sin to waste food. Now the young boy is concerned. He doesn't want to look like a selfish child, and he really doesn't want to be seen as a sinner in his grandmother's eyes. With a sense of defeat, he relents and subjugates his will. Okay, Grandma, I'll finish my soup. He begins to eat again, and he doesn't stop until the bowl is empty. Then, when the tenderness that makes her grandson feel safe and loved, Grandma says, "That's my good boy." The boy learns that by complying with the rules of the dream, he can earn a reward. In this case, he is a good boy in the eyes of his grandmother and receives her love and encouragement. The punishment would have been to be seen as a selfish child, a sinner in her eyes, and a bad boy. This is a simple example of domestication in action. No one doubts that the grandmother has the best of intentions. She loves her grandson and wants him to eat his lunch. But the method she is using to achieve that goal has a negative, unintended consequences. Anytime guilt and shame are deployed as tools to provoke action, this counters any good that has been achieved. Oh, snap. This counters any good that has been achieved. Eventually, these negative elements will resurface in one way or another. In this case, let's imagine that when this boy grows up, the domestication that occurred around his issue is so strong that it still has an imposing power over him well into adulthood. For instance, many years later, he goes to a restaurant where they serve a big plate of food. And halfway through his meal, his body signals him the truth of the moment. I am full. Consciously or subconsciously, he hears a voice. It's a sin to waste food. And that's true. But like, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know if this is just like in like black culture, because I'm half black, I'm white and black. But like, my papa growing up, if he put that food on your plate, you're gonna have to finish that food before you leave the table. Like, dead serious. You're gonna have to finish. I get like 2 plates, you know. That's whoo. My papa's food, man, he be snapping. Like, this shit is so good. It's that soul food. But like, I have a half sister, right? This is a true story. I have a half sister, and she was young. She was like 6 or 7 at this time, and my papa made gumbo, right? Everybody ate that gumbo up. It was so good, but she didn't really like gumbo, so she barely ate any of her gumbo, and she ended up being the last person at the table, right? We already all were gone, having fun on YouTube, you know, playing Xbox 360. This is back in the day. But yeah, and we went out there to look because we were like, where is she at? This girl fell asleep at the table like this in front of her gumbo. I'm gonna try to hurry up because it's about to start raining bad. But yeah, she fell asleep eating her fucking gumbo and woke up the next day still in front of her gumbo. And I think that shit is not okay. It's really not. But it's just things like that, guys. Like, things like that really happen. But anyways, finishing his plate like a good boy, he responds to his domestication rather than his needs of the moment. In that instant, he completely goes against himself by continuing to eat after his body has already let him know that he is full. The idea is so strong that it overrules his body's natural preference to stop. Overeating may damage his body, which is one of the negative consequences in the case of using guilt and shame as a tool. The other consequence is that he has experienced internal suffering by reliving a past moment of guilt and shame, and it is controlling his actions in the present. Finally, note that his grandmother is not even present in the current situation, as he has now taken up the reins of domestication and subjugated his own will without anyone else's influence. In the Toltec tradition, we refer to this phenomenon as self-domestication. As my father likes to say, humans are the only animals on the planet that self-domesticate. Wait. Damn, this chapter is big, dude. I'm not gonna lie. But let's just go. Let's just run with it. All right. The relationship between the boy and his grandmother forms a part of the dream of the planet. And the lunch between the grandmother and her grandson is a basic example of how domestication and self-domestication within our dream occurs. The grandmother domesticated her grandson in that moment, but he continued to self-domesticate himself long after. Self-domestication is the act of accepting ourselves on the condition that we live up to the ideas we have adopted from others and the dream of the planet, without ever considering if those ideas are what we truly want. And that's true. Like, when I got these face tats and stuff and all this, everyone was against it, but it's what I wanted to do, and I'm my own person, you know. While the consequences of finishing a bowl of soup are minimal, the domestication and self-domestication can take much more serious and darker forms as well. For instance, many of us learn to be critical of our physical appearance because it wasn't good enough by social standards. We were presented with the belief that we weren't tall enough, thin enough, or that our skin wasn't the right color. And the moment we agree with that belief, we began to self-domesticate. Because we adopted an external belief, we either rejected or tried to change our physical appearance so we could feel worthy of our own self-acceptance and the acceptance of others. Imagine for a moment that many industries that we cease to exist would cease to exist if we all loved our bodies exactly the way we are, and that's true. Hollywood would not be a thing, you know. To be clear, domestication regarding body image is different from wanting to lose weight in order to be healthy, or even having a preference to look a certain way. The key difference is that with a preference, you come from a place of self-love and self-acceptance, whereas with domestication, you start from a place of shame, guilt, and not being enough. The line between these two can be thin sometimes, and a master of self is one who can look within and determine his or her true motive. Another popular form of domestication in the current dream of the planet revolves around social class and material possessions. There is an underlying belief, a promulgated by society that those who have the most stuff or who have certain jobs are somehow more important than the rest. I, for one, have never met anyone who is more important than anyone else. True, as we are all beautiful and unique creatures of the divine. And yet, many people pursue career paths they dislike and buy things they don't really want or need, all in an effort to achieve the exclusive goals of pure acceptance and self-acceptance. Instances such as these, and we can think of many others, are the ways in which domestication leads to self-domestication. And the result is that we have people living lives that aren't their own. Let me share an example of a close friend who was domesticated in this way and how he broke free. From a very young age, my friend was encouraged by his family to become a lawyer. They filled this young man with stories of money and power and told him that he had all these skills necessary to become successful in this endeavor. With the encouragement of his family, my friend studied pre-law in college and then went straight into law school. But shortly after he arrived, he found that he couldn't stand the practice of law. In hindsight, he realized that he had been domesticated to the idea that being an attorney was going to make him rich, powerful, and most importantly, special in the eyes of his family. But the truth was that adopting his path, he was following the dreams instead of his own. When he announced to his family that he was dropping out of law school, many were disappointed and tried desperately to change his mind. But he was able to stay firm by relying on his own intent. That was many years ago, and he now chuckles when he remembers his former plans, as he is very happy in his current profession as an author and a spiritual teacher. That's so real. Like, I want to be a spiritual teacher, and I'm going to be eventually. I wouldn't even call myself like trying to be a pastor. I'm more of like a spiritual priest. That's what I want to be. The example illustrates how the ideas that were planted in us as children and beyond often don't reflect our own preferred path. But just like my friend, you have the power inside of you to break free from any domestication that you've experienced. And the first step to doing so is becoming aware that domestication and finding out what is true for you. Lastly, I want to be clear that although I have been focused on the negative aspects of domestication, not all domestication results in negative consequences. In other words, just because an idea is planted in you via domestication doesn't mean that idea is a bad one and you must reject it. That's not what we're saying. If it is consistent with your true preferences in life, that's wonderful. For instance, if my friend had ended up enjoying the practice of law, then there would have been no reason to make a career change. Once you decide yourself with a clear mind that a particular idea or belief works for you, there's nothing wrong with maintaining it. The point is that you make a conscious choice. Alright, attachment. It is in the most basic sense, attachment begins with items in the world. You can see this in young children around the age of 2 when they first begin to associate and declare objects in their possession as mine. Anyone who has ever attempted to make a 2-year-old part with a toy can attest to the power of attachment. Although this is where attachment to items begins, it certainly doesn't end there. As often, the more harmful attachments we hold are the unseen ones. And by this, I mean our attachment to our own ideas, opinions, and beliefs. Woo! Hold up, chat. It just got hot. It's raining, but it's Florida, so it's like humid. Let me take some water. Alright. I had to balance myself for a little second, y'all. Alright. So, in my previous book, The 5 Levels of Attachment, I explained the concept of attachment in detail. And I offer a measuring stick for varying degrees to which you can become tied to your own beliefs, ideas, and opinions. For the purposes of understanding attachment and how it relates to the master yourself, I will use an abbreviated example of a popular story that appears in that book. This example illustrates how, if we aren't careful, attachments can quickly become unhealthy and cause suffering in our lives. And that's true. I was attached to my ex. But that's because I didn't have self-love, and I was just attached to any love that I could get, and it was unhealthy. So y'all just stay in here. Let's get through this. Imagine that you like soccer, right? You don't have a particular team or player that you root for, and it doesn't matter if it's taking place in a magnificent stadium or dirt field. Both equally are good for a fan who just loves watching the game. The players could be great or mediocre, and you wouldn't care as long as everyone's playing and enjoying the game. As you watch, you generally don't choose to root for or against one side. And even if you do choose to root for a particular team, you do so with very little emotion invested. Just enough to make the game more exciting. As a result, regardless of which team wins the game, it has nothing to do with your personal life, as you have not made rooting for a particular team a part of your identity. That moment, the referee blows the whistle that ends the game. Regardless of which team wins or loses, you leave the game behind. You walk out the stadium and continue on with your life, having enjoyed a good game. In this context, when you watch a game, you are simply enjoying a moment in time without any attachment to the outcome. You experience the purest form of joy stemming from your desire to experience the game for the sake of the game or life without conditions. You maintained your personal freedom throughout the process, as the outcome of the game didn't impact your life one bit. Keeping with this analogy, let's imagine you like soccer, but now you are a committed fan of a particular team. The colors strike an emotional chord inside of you. When the referee blows the whistle, the result of the game affects you on an emotional level. You are elated. When your team wins, when your team loses, you feel disappointed. You are elated when your team wins, but when your team loses, you feel disappointed. Your attachment to your team begins to impact your personal life outside the stadium gates, as you relate to the world as a fan. For example, when your team loses, you might have a bad day at work, argue with someone about what or who is responsible for the loss, or feel sad despite the many other good things going on around you. No matter what the effect is, you let your attachment to a particular outcome change your persona. Your attachment to soccer bleeds into a world that has nothing to do with it. And that's true, y'all. Like me, the way I see the world is, if it was meant for me, it's gonna be here. If it's not meant for me, then it's not gonna be here. And it's just destiny. If God wanted it to be here, it would be here. If it's not, it's not. If this happened, okay. If that happened, okay. You know, I just trust in God and I have faith. Like, people coming to work, shitty attitudes, dude. It is what it is, bro. I'm not gonna let it destroy me because I'm happy inside. I'm pure inside. And with that being said, no matter what's going on in my life, now that I'm saved by Jesus Christ and had these awakenings, spiritual awakenings, and I healed myself, it doesn't matter what's going on around me. The whole world could be burning down. Yeah, I'd be concerned, but at the end of the day, I'm still happy in here. And that sounds kind of crazy. I didn't like me saying the world's on fire. You know, that's kind of a bad example. But you get the point. Like, I'm good. If this attachment is left unchecked, it will become stronger and more entrenched until the story of victory and defeat of your favorite team is now about you. Your team's performance affects your self-worth. When reading the stats, you admonish players for making us look bad. If the opposing team wins, you get angry that they beat you. Not only have you brought the game home, but you have also completely incorporated the game into a part of who you are, shaping your identity by your belief on what it means to be a real fan. Although the soccer team has nothing to do with you in reality, your self-importance correlates with the success or failure of this team because you choose to identify yourself with them particularly. Your life and your attachment to this team are so blurred that you can no longer separate the two, and you believe that anyone who doesn't agree with you about this team is wrong. You might even begin to make loyalty to this team a condition by which you allow others to be in a relationship with you. This is like me with XRP. Like, people talk shit on XRP, right? They have all this shit to say, but at the end of the day, it doesn't bother me because all I say to them, I say, God bless you, and I hope you learn more about this because you're gonna miss out. I'm not gonna be like, oh, you know, you don't like XRP, you like XLM more, you know, F you. Like, no, I'm not gonna say that because I want the best for people, and just because they don't see the things I see doesn't mean I have to be against them. Just because someone likes someone that I don't like, that does not mean they're my enemy, you know? That's not how that works. But that's just like a real life example of what they're talking about. But yeah, it says, if you are having difficulty relating to the sports analogy, let's consider two real-life examples. At the end of one soccer season in Europe, a big-name club was relegated into a lower division after a decisive loss. After witnessing... Let's see how far we are. Damn, dude, we're on like 50 minutes. We're gonna stop here. Well, not here. We're gonna stop a little down in this book because we still got like 5 more pages. I've never read this book. I did not realize how long these chapters were, or I would have started earlier because, you know, I'm trying to do a chapter a day. But let's go. So basically, yeah, like let's say the team got regulated and put into a lower division. After witnessing this loss, a fan went home and hung himself. For him, life is no longer worth living if his team wasn't in the Premier League. In another instance, a bus driver was a fan of a losing team, and he was so upset by a particular loss that he drove his bus into a group of people wearing the winning team's jersey. And this is so real. Like, people just get sucked into a lot of shit. Like even like the stock market, you know, people put their whole lives into it, and if the stock goes down, they jump off a building and kill themselves. And this is why self-love and the mastery of self is so important, because even with certain things like this, you guys will be okay internally to where you won't just make outlandish decisions like this. For these two people, the joy of watching soccer for the sake of soccer was lost long ago. Fortunately, murder and suicide due to a favorite team's loss are very rare occasions or occurrences. But when we turn to topics such as religions, politics, money, sex, and power, the negative consequences are far more numerous. When you become attached to an object, idea, or belief, you make it part of who you think you are. Then once the fog has you, your vision is obscured. You will no longer see the humanity of an individual who doesn't agree with you, as you can only see the personification of an idea that you stand against. When your mirror is clear, you can see the divinity in everyone. You can go to any church, synagogue, temple, mosque, or drum circle, and find and feel the love and grace of God. And that's true. Like, after being saved and all, y'all, I could go chill with anybody, and we could just chop it up, y'all. Like, that's why I be talking about this yacht party that we're all gonna have once XRP hits $200, and once it hits 10K. This yacht party that we have, we're just gonna chop it up. But with no weird energy. You gotta pass the vibe check. You feel me? But yeah, for those who are lost in the fog, God just happens to be in the focus of devotion that the religion is centered on. In other words, the beliefs and rituals of the religion are more important than experience God in the present moment. This is the power of an unhealthy attachment. Oh, okay. I said that kind of weird. So, for those who are lost in the fog, God just happens to be the focus of devotion that the religion is centered on. In other words, the beliefs and rituals of the religion are more important than experiencing God in the present moment. So basically what it's saying is, there's a lot of people that are Christians just because it's seen good to be a Christian, and they know it's the right thing. But a lot of people, they aren't living by God. They don't know how to talk to God. God doesn't speak to them, but they still stay like attached to the idea because of their ego and things like that. So I don't know. I can tell when someone's like a real person of God versus just like someone with a Christian name tag. You feel me? But dang, y'all. We still got 1, 2, 3. We still got 3 pages, and I don't want to go too far over the time because I don't really know how long it's going to take to upload. But yeah, tomorrow we're going to finish chapter 1, understanding the relationship between domestication and attachment. This is really important, y'all. It really is, because like my last relationship, due to the fact that that girl was from like my childhood and stuff, I let the idea of me being attached to someone from my childhood basically ruin my life. I let them do anything they wanted to me, but that was because I was attached to the idea of being with someone that I knew when I was a child, before I died inside. And y'all gotta learn what domestication is and attachments and things like that, because you're gonna want to avoid like just negative people. You can't just get attached to the idea of who you're with. Like, you gotta really understand who you're with. Once don't base how you feel about them off their words. Base it off their actions. If their actions show that they're treating you bad, they don't love you, etc., but they're telling you they love you, Focus on their actions, because words can be very deceiving. But anyways, guys, this was 55 minutes, y'all. 55 minutes. It's 6/18/2025. XRP is $2.16. We're about to close it up, guys. I'm gonna do a little prayer for y'all, and I just want to let you guys know, you guys can do anything you put your mind to, but first you have to learn how to love yourself, and then you can manifest anything you want. You want to be a lawyer? Okay, it's already done, but you need to start. You need to start from right here and then expand out. You guys can do anything. I love y'all. If y'all ever want to message me. I'm not gonna reach out to you guys first, though. Like, for real, I'm not gonna reach out to y'all. So if someone's acting like me and they're reaching out to y'all, it's not me. You're gonna have to message me first, like, straight up. Unless you like, or I see a video of you parting waters with your hands, and like you part waters like Moses. Okay, I'll probably message you, but outside of that, I'm not gonna message y'all. But I love y'all. Protect your energy. If you got negative shit over here and you got positive shit over here, try to avoid looking at that shit. Stop texting back. Stop doing that. Focus on this. As long as you put that away and you're focused on positive shit, you only can see positive things like come into your life. And it took me a long time to understand this, so I'm putting y'all on. And I'm gonna just tell y'all for real, what we're doing right now is we are creating a healthy internal structure for ourselves before this XRP thing pops off. It's going to hit 10K. God sent me here to heal y'all and bring y'all to Christ, but at the same time save y'all during this financial thing that's happening. The new system, the B system. XRP is going to go to 10K. A dude in a tent is telling y'all 6/18/2025 XRP is going to go to 10K. When it does, come back and we'll chop it up, and I'll tell y'all how I knew. Basically, it's God. I talked to God, and it happens to be one of the things that he let me know about. But anyways, God, please, God, please just put a blanket of protection over my followers, God. You know why they're here, God. They're here because of you. You brought most of these people to XRP, God. And most of these people are your people, God. Chosen people, God. So please let them not ruin their blessings of abundance. Please don't let negative people come in their energy, God. Please protect them, God. Sometimes they may not see what you're doing, God, but just know they have good intentions, God. These are good people. You know who to bless and who not to bless, God. You can see who they truly are, God. They may be going through something right now, God. Some people may not even think that I talked to you, God, and please just forgive them. You know, some people don't speak to you, God, like I do, and they don't understand. It's a lack of knowledge, a lack of wisdom, but don't hold it against them, God. Please don't. Protect their family, God. Make sure they get fed every night, God, because you don't know what people are going. I mean, you do know what people are going through, God, but you know what I mean. Like, who knows, man? And people nowadays, with everything that's going on, God, people really need you right now. So I'm asking you, as your son, a high priest, the one that you sent here to show your miracles, the one that you gave spiritual gifts to, that you saved, God, the one that never gave up on you, God, always trusted you, always did good when bad was in front of me. I always went to the side. So God, personally, God, I'm asking you to protect them with every bit of yourself that you have, God. So now with everyone, I need y'all to say amen. In Jesus' name, thank God. Amen. Oh man, it went off, but I was praying for y'all. I hope, oh man, I was deep in it too. I didn't look up. Man, I hope it saved. Like, I hope y'all got to see. But I love y'all, crypto family. I gotta go. Just look for the next episode tomorrow night. But peace and love. Goodbye.